Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's Golden Wing Geekout. I'm your host, Danny. Got my co-host, Ryan, with me.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
And let's talk about episode 32, Green Day and Oasis, part 3.
Yeah.
The final part of this fight.
Yes. Let's talk about this one after recuperating and simmering down from the fantastic fiasco that was the Chocolata beatdown last week.
Right.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
So suffice it to say, it's we're kind of back to normal this week. So
yeah, it was like as we were pretty much expecting from today's episode. Like last week's episode, we basically knocked out the entirety of the Chocolata fight, and now with this episode, suffice it to say, this episode pretty much knocked out the entirety of the fight between Bucciolati and Secco.
yeah, and pretty much so the battle pretty much starts with Chocolata pretty much coming to the realization that Chocolata's kind of dead, and Secco, because Secco he listens to the second voicemail, and he sees, oh, wait a minute, people are recovering, they're kind of not dying. And, listening to the voicemail and seeing that he puts two and two together and he realizes Chocolata is dead. So to all you anime-only watchers, if you were all like, Chocolata told Secco he loves him and he's out and Secco is going to avenge him, oh, you had no idea, because as soon as Secco realized that Chocolata was dead, he's like, nope, fuck you, dude.
Pretty much. It's like, well, it actually kind of had me fooled, because here's the thing, it's like after Secco finished listening to the second voicemail, it almost sounded like Secco was about to cry, but then not even like 10 seconds later, yeah, you're basically right, Danny. Secco was basically like, oh, so Chocolata was a bitch and went out like one because how weak he is. I was just following him around, because I thought he was strong and I would be safe. But oh no, turns out Chocolata is dead. Fuck you. You are weak as hell. I'm doing a complete 180 now.
So it's like, so I mean, this isn't even like, Secco going off the deep end or anything. It's just, this is just him saying, no, fuck you, I'm doing things my way now.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
And can I just say, it was awfully nice of Bruno to let Secco just stand there and listen to his voicemail.
I am being very polite by letting you listen to your phone or whatever, but I'm actually really pissed off at you right now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those things, like, I mean, I know technically in the last episode we saw, like, he tried to attack Secco when he was distracted and it backfired, so he's probably thinking, yeah, let's not do the same thing. But at the same time, it's just, he's literally just standing there and he's just watching Secco have this freak out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so that was pretty amusing. So then we more or less pretty much get into, the fight proper. And, well, I even hesitate to really even call it, I don't know, would you necessarily call it a fight when it's just more so a chase?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, most people would refer to it as a fight, but when you really put it into a different perspective, yeah, there wasn't like a whole lot of fighting per se, just a lot of chasing. I mean, and a lot of like really quick maneuvers, and you know, Bruno being all witty and shit, but that's just about it. We don't really get into a whole lot of fighting per se. Like, we get a little bit of action here and there, but the action really comes into an effect, until the very end of the fight.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it's mostly
Yeah,
just
cause,
chasing.
well, it's like even in the beginning, like because you had that moment where Bruno chucked a pole that he split in half and literally tried to like use it like a scissor to decapitate Sekko, but he kicked it back. It's like there was that moment, and then so there
Yeah.
was that. There was a couple of exchanges with punches, and I guess just like how Jordo took up parkour in his spare time, I guess Bruno took up pole dancing. Because it's like, yeah, cause it's
Oh
like,
man.
I guess, because I mean, my God, he was hanging on that pole, with all of his might. So it's like,
Oh man.
I guess. But, yeah, so there was that.
God, only you would think of Bruno doing a pole dance. Only
Oh,
you. God damn
oh,
it,
come on.
girl.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that want to see that.
Oh, are you really? Are you really not the only person on the planet? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I may be the only one in this call that wants that, but I'm definitely not the only person on the internet that wants to see that.
It's like, maybe, I don't know. I'm kidding. I don't.
Yeah. And speaking of which, I guess it's like it's probably a good thing that Bruno's kind of dead right now, because my God, Bruno took so many hits that should have outright killed him in this fight. Like him.
He took so much punishment throughout the entirety of this chase. It's like my God. It's like, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like, Bruno, be grateful that you're already dead. In this case, Bruno is the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's
like, pun intended.
It's, I mean, it's like Bruno's taken his fair share of hits before, but in this fight, I mean, he took that cut to the throat. He got skewered. So it's like, yeah, you are so lucky that you got this whole borrowed life thing on your side, because if he did not have that, he probably would have died here.
Yeah, if he somehow avoided getting fisted by King Crimson, all the shit that Bruno went through throughout this entire chase sequence or whatever, that pretty much would have done it right then and there.
So lots of close calls, and I know, and then we see Sekko, getting pissed off because how dare Bruno steal his moves?
Yeah, that's right. It's like, hey, that's my move. You copycat god.
Yeah, it's like you
come up with your own ideas for moves.
Yeah, it's like,
jerk.
oh, you went underground and now you're moving? That's not fair.
Who the hell do you think I am?
Yeah. So that was pretty funny. Also, surely you noticed too, but it was like, as soon as we went underground, because obviously, because they're underground, and like what you see, Oasis, it pretty much treats, the ground like, he swims through like water. And it's like, we definitely see that here, so he's like definitely moving more like a diver. But yeah, surely you notice that it's like the severe lack of music throughout like the majority of this episode, because it was like they were focusing more on trying to emulate like what is it, like the noise or like the vibrations underwater, because that was the whole point, because that was how Sekko was trying to track down Bruno, and that was how Bruno was trying to see, okay, how close, like they're trying to see how close are they to each other, and it was solely based on sound. So that's like,
yeah.
I gotta say, I really appreciate that, because my God, if this was any other shonen anime, they would have thrown some other kind of song or something, like even if it was like a song of dread or something during that chase scene, instead of just letting the ambience, take over.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. It's like, no, that's actually a really good point. Like, I mean, I didn't put this too much into thought or anything, but I mean, no, I don't. I mean, that is to say, not that I'm saying I didn't notice it. Cause yeah, it's like yeah. I mean, you would think that they would try to at least try to make the chase a bit more intense, if that's what you want to call it. Like, if they were to add in like more like intimidating musical scores or whatever, just to fit the mood, as opposed to mostly just have it be like sound effects of like the water and the ground and
Yeah.
such.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, it's like kind of like what you were saying earlier. Like, I totally get it. The main point that the chase was trying to get across was, it's like, all right, Seko can hear what's going on in the ground, like with like the sounds, the vibrations, all that such. I totally get that.
Yeah, because that's like.
But
Yeah, because I was just gonna say, it was like, because it's like, yeah, you got your typical music like at the beginning of the fight. When the fight ends is where you got the typical, haha, I win battle music, which I think is like what, Giorno's theme or something. So it's like, of course we got that, but it's like yeah, throughout like the majority of this chase scene, like once they're underground, it's more or less just the ambiance taking over.
yeah,
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. And then it's like, and I guess like, yeah, well I guess we'll just talk about oh, okay, so I'm watching the episode while we're talking. So roughly about halfway through the chase scene, we pretty much shift over and we get the formal reveal of our final party member, if that is what you wish to call him. So, I'm sure some of you anime only watchers, you guys are probably freaking the fuck out if for whatever reason you did not put two and two together last week. Our final party member, the man himself, Jean-Pierre Polnareff. Oh, shit.
Oh, wait a minute, that voice. Okay, I swear to God, I really, as much as I'm really hoping that this is the same voice actor, from Star Wars Crusaders, it sounds like this guy is completely different.
We'll double check this after the recording, but yeah, it's like, yeah, he just said this is 12 years later, so.
Hey, there's
there
the big reveal! There's the face!
Yeah!
Oh my God, Polnareff, my man, you look amazing! Oh man, it's like God. Oh man, freaking Polnareff! I swear to God, because it's like we got another glimpse of Polnareff, I think shortly before the chase even started, where we see him, someone in the shadows, but you can kind of make out what who this person is, and I'm like, okay, come on, give me the face reveal, and he just goes further into the shadows. I'm like, oh, you tease, what the fuck? But no, yeah, it's like sometime later, halfway through the chase, yes, then we finally get to see Jean-Pierre Polnareff with his up-to-date design in Golden Wind, and he looks badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, that's like, because, I remember they did that in the manga, too, where it's like, it looks like you get a glimpse of him, but he backs away into the shadows, because I distinctly remember when I was first showing this to you when you were reading the manga, I remember when we got this face reveal, you were flipping out. Like,
I was pissed off.
Well, for one thing, you had no idea who this was. So at first you were shocked, like, oh my God, it's actually Polnareff. Like, we finally see the third Stardust Crusader that survived. But then you got pissed off at me because, for any of you guys that are watching and you've seen what we're doing with the manga reading, we've been kind of giving everybody voices and shit, goofy voices, serious voices, whatever. I mean, we were just having fun with it. And like, I did not tell Ryan who this character was, so Ryan came up with some kind of a voice, and when he realized that it was Polnareff, he got so pissed at me. He's like, you knew who this was, and you let me give him this voice.
It's probably gonna be a while before.
It's gonna be a very long time.
But yeah, for the sake of throwing in some extra context here, at the time, I didn't know who this person was. All I know is that this person was a hacker. So I initially gave Polnareff a voice like kind of similar to how it was like if I were to give like an alternate take on Peridot from Steven Universe. I gave Polnareff this voice up until this very moment when we got the face reveal. I mean, I don't know if he got the clip like ready or ever. I don't think you do.
I can put the audio up just for shits and giggles.
If the enemy were to find out that we were meeting in the Colosseum, I'd have to destroy the arrow. Oh, wait! Okay, I am sorry! You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! I was giving this character some nerdy-ass voice like Peridot this entire time, and you knew! You bastard! I'm upset!
I am a sneaky little bitch.
Motherfucker!
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, if for some reason you don't understand why Ryan is freaking the fuck out,
just look at this character! Do you not see the hairdo? This is fucking Polnareff! Jean-Pierre Polnareff from Stardust Crusaders!
Yes! So it's like, okay, so we had Jotaro and Joseph coming back for Diamond is Unbreakable, but no sign of Polnareff whatsoever. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's favorite and arguably the real JoJo of Stardust Crusaders. He has come back for Vento Areo.
My god!
Yeah, basically, Polnareff here is our last party member.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, God, okay, well now it's official. I'm fairly certain, like, in the future, whenever anybody who's familiar with Part 5 listens to our dub, and I give that voice for the very first time, everybody's like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Why'd he give him that voice?
Well, that's why I deliberately kept it hidden from you.
You
because
motherfucker!
I was not gonna spoil this surprise, because believe me, when I first read this, I had the same reaction. I'm like, oh my god, no fucking way! It's actually him! Like, we got our little silver chariot back!
My god. I was the victim here, folks! It was all her doing! It was all her doing! I had no idea who this hacker was until now. I don't know what voice to give him. It was all her! It was her plan from the very beginning! I am innocent! Yeah, for extra context, you can do that, but it's like, seriously, I was shocked, and yeah, I was peeved, because it's like, I was not giving this beautiful man the justice he deserves with his voice. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you knew this entire time, and you let me give him the voice, you bastard!
Yes.
I still remember that as clear as day.
I think from what I remember, that was probably one of the funniest reactions you ever had when we were reading that manga. Because it was like, at first you were so excited, and then you turned on me. It's like, it was hilarious.
You guys, obviously you guys can see my face, but I am shaking my head right now with the most dumbfounded look on my face, just remembering all this shit.
Oh, yes.
It's like, good times, I suppose. God
I know.
but think about it now. You still can't help it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, you did get me there. I will give you that.
Yeah.
God damn it. But yeah, suffice it to say, like the initial design for the more up to date design for Polnareff was really cool looking, looking at the actual manga. But actually seeing him in the anime adaptation, he looks more badass than he does. It's like I don't care what happened to the man, you know, in between Stardust Crusaders and now in Golden Wind. But oh my god, he looks so cool to look at.
Yeah. So again, now, so for you anime only watchers, you're probably wondering what the hell happened. What the hell happened to Polnareff? Because it's like he's got this scar over his eye. He's lost his legs. He's in a wheelchair. Like, what the hell could have possibly happened? I mean, he survived Dio pretty damn well, might I add. And he's been reduced to this. What the fuck happened? You will find out. I hesitate to say when, but you will find out what exactly happened. What sent Polnareff into this state. So it's like you'll see why he's in the wheelchair, you'll see why he looks the way he does, and you're gonna see how did he come across this arrow in the first place. I mean, he did say, I got this arrow after our fight in Egypt. But you're going to get a lot more detail. So those answers are indeed coming. So, don't worry. That will be explained. It's just, I just hesitate to say when it's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, it's like, it could be next week, could be later. I guess it really depends. Just like, okay, where is David Production going to take this? I mean, I want to say it's next week, but with my luck, it'll probably be like, 2 weeks from now or something. Just with my luck.
Probably.
Alrighty, so I guess shifting back away from Polnareff. Wait, actually, before I shift, I didn't actually get a chance to look. Let me double check real quick.
We need to okay, because here's one thing that I was so curious about. Like, I think even like ever since last week, I want to know because we actually get to hear Polnareff's voice this time around. So now it had me wondering, is this the exact same person that voiced Polnareff all the way back in Stardust Crusaders, or is it somebody different? Because upon listening to Polnareff in this episode, as much as I really want this to be the same person who reprising his role from Stardust Crusaders, it actually sounded like if it was somebody different. If it is the same person, I'm gonna be shocked and amazed at the same time. But I mean, honestly, I would not put it past me if it was somebody different.
It's the same actor. Yeah,
wow.
It's the same actor. So bear in mind, this is 12 years since Stardust Crusaders. So yeah, he probably did. Yeah, he probably deepened his voice a lot and everything. Because, I mean, 12 years is a long time.
No doubt. I mean, it's like freaking. It's like, yeah, when we're talking about like the actual like a series, like, story wise, when it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's like, oh yeah, it makes sense that his voice deepened, but in regards to like actual like the actual production with the anime adaptation, all the way from Stardust Crusaders, like summer 2014, I believe, up until now, that is actually really, really amazing. Honestly, oh man, I wasn't even fully aware that it was the same voice actor. Again, this is what I was saying earlier. It's like, as I wanted it to be the same voice actor, but I wouldn't put it past me if it was somebody different, considering how different his voice sounded, compared to how he did the role initially during Stardust Crusaders, like oh my god, I would say like close to 5 years ago, up until now. It's like, okay, you threw me off guard. It's like, good. It's like props to Polnareff's voice actor right now. It's like, my god.
Japan tends to keep their voice actors regardless of how much time has passed, unless something happens to the actor themselves, like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, they get sick, they die, or something else happens, they retire. Usually once a character has been cast, usually they stick with that character to the very end. You know,
Yeah, I would certainly
yeah,
hope
because I mean that's
so.
like because you see this a lot with like shonen series and shit. I mean, take like Naruto for example. Like the voice actors that did like Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura's voices in Naruto continued it in Shippuden. They're continuing it now in Boruto. I mean, those are the characters, and that is them. Pretty, and they will play those characters until the end. Again, barring that nothing happens to the actors themselves. So it's like we kind of follow that. The only times that usually it doesn't stay like that is like, again, something happens to the actors, or maybe a different company gets a hold of the anime or something. Like maybe something happens, like because it's kind of often actually where it's like anime will get sold off from company to company, and it's like this is why you'll have like one anime will have like you'll have one set of actors from one company, but then when another company gets a hold of the license, they bring their own people in or something. I mean, I think that was what actually happened to I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but is that not why we got like why Joseph in the English dub got two different voice actors? It was like you got the first voice actor for for Battle Tendency, complete with like hammy English accent and everything. But as soon as we get to Stardust Crusaders, all of a sudden we have a different actor for some reason.
Oh man, no, that's kind of the weird part. Yeah, we got a completely different voice actor for old Joseph, but it's so weird because it's like, okay, we got like a test English dub for Stardust Crusaders when it initially launched, like when it was released for the first time in Japan, like back in 2014, where it was just okay, no accent or anything. Then we get the official English dub for Battle Tendency, and we get the same voice actor for old Joseph in the dub, in that test dub, but he used that as a test to bring in like a hint of an English accent this time around. But then when we get to the official dub for Stardust Crusaders, they cut out not just old Joseph's slightly English accent, but all accents.
Yeah.
So it's basically back to how it was during the test dub, even though, the same person that did old Joseph, he even though he did the English accent near the end of Battle Tendency.
Right. Like
So it's
yeah.
weird.
I mean, it's like I suppose because it's like I suppose like yeah, going from young to old makes sense. Where it's like I get that, but I mean it's like but yeah, like I even remember at the end of Battle Tendency, it was like yeah, like yeah, the actor that played Joseph throughout all of Battle Tendency in the dub. He did dub that brief little scene at the very end that shows okay, now we're moving into Stardust Crusader. So that's where I was just like, okay, he can do it. And then it's like, yeah, they switched over voices and he lost his English accent. That was so jarring for me.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it's like it's a real shame too, because like the reason why I guess they cut out all accents in Stardust Crusaders is because they quote unquote didn't want to take any chances. When it comes to like offending people with accents or
Oh,
whatever.
fuck
Yet
that.
we see Funimation. Yeah, and yet we have companies like Funimation who can pull that shit off so well, not offending anybody, with animes like Hitalia Access Powers.
Well, granted, they couldn't offend them. They didn't offend us years ago. Nowadays, oh my god, forget it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, with the way our social political climate is now, Hitalia would drive them up the fucking walls.
Oh god, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, such is the times. But anywho's, but yeah, like bottom line, I mean, it's like I'm not at all surprised to see that okay, we do have the same actor playing Polnareff. It's just it's just probably doing he's doing the accent, not doing the accent. He's doing the voice a little bit differently because again, we got to reflect that, all this time has passed. I mean, we did see it in Diamond is Unbreakable with Joseph, where it's like, it's the same actor from Stardust Crusaders, but he did make his voice sound like a lot more frail. Because, I mean, that kind of was Joseph in Diamond is Unbreakable. It was like, his fighting days are over. Now he's, like, practically bordering senile.
Yeah.
Alrighty, but, okay, so I guess, so continuing on from geeking out over the Polnareff. So, we pretty much move into, pretty much the finale of Bruno versus Sekko. And yeah, this is where Bruno pretty much gets the upper hand and it's like, again, I'm glad that be glad that he's kind of dead at this point because, he would have lost his hearing. I mean, it's like he lost his hearing regardless, but it would have been far worse. Because remember when he popped the tire, it's like, so not only did Bruno, completely deafen Sekko, but he deafened himself too. But, Bruno is just like, look, I'm already dead. I don't care, But it's like, Bruno, he just sat there and he just took that thing like a champ. And look at what the hell happened with Sekko, like how it just completely disoriented him.
Yeah, really. It's like you would see blood like gushing out of Sekko's ears like every 3 seconds because of just how bad Bruno messed up his freaking hearing after popping the tire.
Well, not even just that, but because, his hearing's fucked up, here he's thinking, oh, I know where you are. He goes to kick him and he gets his ankle run over by a car.
his ankle gets completely flattened by a car that was passing by. It's like, seriously, that was some Looney Tunes.
Yeah, really. So it's like, so that screwed him up, I was like, it completely, fucked up his senses and shit. Now he's dodging cars. He can't really understand what Bruno is saying because it's like, yeah, Bruno just walks up to him and just starts talking like a badass, but Sekko can't even hear him and he's just screaming stay away from me. You're gonna are you gonna try and beat me? What are you gonna do? And, even Bruno is just like, okay, I'm done talking.
There's no point in me talking to you. You can't hear me, so what's the point? I'm just gonna go straight to the killing you part.
Yeah. So then Sekko, in a desperate attempt to try and save his own ass, he decides, okay, I'm going to take a hostage. It's like, and he's like, I'm going to take a hostage. I want this hostage to, flag down a taxi and just get the hell out of here. He's like, look, at this point, I'll fucking run, but I'd rather run and live and continue working for Passione than dying here. But, oh, Sekko, you poor dumb bastard.
You have no idea, Sekko.
You poor dumb bastard. You had no freaking clue. Oh, that's right, yes! That's right, he takes Tokyo hostage! That's right, I forgot about that!
Oh, God, that's right! I'm gonna turn this kid to mush. Sekko, you have no idea who you've just taken hostage. Oh, man.
俺はやっぱり組織に仕えた方が気楽でいい。おい小僧、タクシーだ。手を上げてタクシーを止めろ。おめえが止めるんだ。
Kid, give me a taxi right now. It's like, damn it!
Oh shit!
Oh God!
Just now! What the? Did you notice that? Did you notice that?
I saw that! It just took one little slap on the head, and it... Shit! Of all the hostages that you just had to grab, you just so happened to grab a hold of fucking Doppio. So essentially, you grabbed the boss, and you're using the boss that you're talking about to Bruno as a hostage.
So, I mean, either way, he was fucked. So it's like, if Bruno wasn't gonna do him in, Diavolo was. So it's like...
Yeah, more than likely, yeah. Either way, that was it.
That was the death nail in the coffin. It was like, it's like, that was it.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. That was it. Sekko was done.
Yeah, so then it's like, so Bruno pretty much gets rid of Sekko, opens up his zipper through Doppio in order to, get the hand through him so that he can actually reach Sekko, so it's like, which of course, that is definitely something Bruno would do. And then
I would like hold on. I would like to quickly point out that there was some very cruel irony when Bruno was, attacking Sekko while he was punching through Doppio, because it's like we basically have the exact same person who fisted Bruno near the end of the first half of Golden Wind, only for Bruno to unintentionally do the exact same thing to Doppio and the boss himself.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, this is like such cruel irony, but Bruno, you are too good for this world.
Yeah, really.
Yep, and then Sekko just like, again, probably because, his senses have been disoriented, his hand is like zipped to his throat now, he's panicking, and he just so happens to climb into the freaking trash truck that Chocolata is in. So now the two can spend the rest of their days in the trash can.
No, seriously. It's like, I know it was not the intention. Like, I know this is like some, once again, cruel irony that of all cars or vehicles or whatever that freaking Checo just had to jump into, it had to be the exact same garbage truck that Chocolata was beaten down into, pretty much. But it's like, at this point, it almost seemed like Sekko was voluntarily trying to get into the same garbage truck with Chocolata, with all these considered.
Yeah, that's where it's like,
oh my god.
It's kind of weird, because it's like, yeah, like, when Chocolata got thrown in after the beatdown, I mean, that was just a beautiful encore to the whole thing. Like, that was the perfect way to cap it off. It's like, garbage human goes in the trash can. And, that's kind of like, what is it? I remembered, like, somebody did a picture, and I know I retweeted it, like, last week, where, like, someone drew a picture of, like, Giorno, he's trying to decide, like, he's holding on to Chocolata's body, and he's trying to decide, what should I put him in? Should I put him in the recycling bin? Should I put him in the trash can? Should I put him in for organics? It's like, oh, what to do? It's like, it was the funniest goddamn picture, but it was like, it was great with Chocolata. And then it's like, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, this happened in the manga too. But yeah, it's kind of weird where it's like, yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, he just happens to just walk out in the middle of the street and just happens to fall into the same truck and the truck drives away. It's like, oh, really? That's it? That's what does Sekko in? Really? I mean, again, I know he's disoriented and everything. I mean, Bruno taking out his eardrums, did kind of fuck him up. But it was like, but again, it was like, it's not even like, it's like, like Bruno did a fatal punch or anything like that. It was just, nope, Sekko kind of did himself in.
Right, yeah.
Yep. So then after the fight, so we see, pretty much as what I said a few weeks ago about how Bruno's body is now starting to shut down. Because like before, he's saying like, before he blew his eardrums out, his hearing was already going down. Because he didn't tell at first that, Giorno was talking to him in the car, all sense of pain was going down. He blew out his eardrums now, so we know that that's gone. But now, like, you can see his body is falling apart. Bruno has said his eyesight's going down. So, I mean, yeah, he's pretty much at the end of the line here. So it's like his body is finally shutting down. And then it's like, of course, you have to end on the worst possible cliffhanger. It's like, not only is his body shutting down, but you had to leave him alone with Doppio.
And Doppio was literally about to do some karate chop action right behind right behind Bruno's back. And only then did they decide, all right, that's enough. To be continued. Dun, dun, dun. It's like, what the...
Yeah, it's like such... Oh, yeah, it's being such a tease.
Again, first with a reenactment of freaking Polnareff's big face reveal, and then that. It's like, I know that David Productions have pulled stuff like that off, like, in the past, like, during this part, or just in general with JoJo, but even then, it's like, oh, come on, really? Why do you do this to us?
I know. But suffice it to say, so that is the end of that fight, and pretty much that is it as far as, like, like underlings, minions, like minor fights and shit like that. So, yeah, all the squadra is taken care of. All of Diablo's personal guard, that was taken care of. So, pretty much next week, we are moving into pretty much the final battle at this point. We're moving on into, like, pretty much we're moving into the end game now. And pretty much, like, as the next week's episode title states, so next week, guaranteed for certain, we're going to have the official, formal reveal of Diablo. Like, we've met Doppio, and you've been having Doppio all this time. Next week, you're actually going to meet Diablo. So for you anime-only watchers, it's like, yeah, like, we do know, okay, we got a split personality thing going on, but Diablo does have a completely different design from Doppio. You will be seeing that next week, and I honestly can't wait to see it next week because, as much as I adore Doppio, I have to admit the design for Diablo was fucking dope in the manga. So I can't wait to see how this looks.
I get it.
I can't wait to see how this looks in the anime.
Oh man, yeah, I cannot wait to see, how he actually is portrayed in the anime adaptation. I mean, granted, I already got a good glimpse of what he looks like through the manga, and more so with All-Star Battle and Eyes of Heaven. But, alright, look, if they can make Jean-Pierre Polnareff look totally more badass than he should in the anime adaptation, then no, there is no doubt in my mind that Diavolo is going to be getting the exact same treatment.
I think if anything, I'm probably more so excited for next week for, like, specifically how Diavolo is revealed. Do you remember how he was formally revealed in the manga?
Oh god, I can't. It's been that long. I can't say that I do.
It's where, like, you see where Doppio goes to confront Polnareff, and you see, like, he starts spouting shit, and you see, like, he's like, because they're in the Coliseum, he's like, he like steps behind like a pillar or something, and he's like, you see Doppio, he's like taking off the shirt, but as soon as he steps away from the pillar, the shirt is off, and boom, there's Diablo. I mean, it's like within a split-second transformation. I mean, it's honestly one of the coolest. I think it's one of the coolest villain introductions in all of JoJo. So that's where it's like, oh, I can't wait to see how they pull this off in the anime, because it was really cool how they did it in the manga. I just want to see how they do this in motion.
Oh man, yeah. All it takes is just one removal of the shirt. Oh, wait. Spoiler alert!
No,
I
yeah.
guess.
No, but don't worry. This has been behind the spoiler tag.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, good. The thought just crossed my mind.
Yeah, don't worry. But it's like, but yeah, I mean, it's like if you remember, I mean, it's because it's not just the fact that it's like, oh, he's taking off his shirt and then, oh, boom, there's Diavolo. He was also stepping behind a pillar, too. And it's like, what he steps behind the pillar, like, before he goes behind the pillar, it's Doppio. But once he steps away from it, it's Diavolo. So I think,
okay.
I think like even like they even do that. They even reference that in Ike. I know they do it in Knights of Heaven. I'm assuming they do something like that in All Star Battle. But instead of it being a pillar, it actually looks like he's stepping in between like comic panels.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
like I don't know if you remember that, where it's like, yeah, it starts where it's like, oh, it starts with Doppio, but then like, yeah, that's how we get that. That's how the fight begins, is where it's like it's referencing that.
Oh, okay. It's like the sad thing is like I'm familiar with what he looks like in Eyes of Heaven and All Star Battle. The thing is like I never really messed around with Diavolo as a fighter or whatever. If only because it's like, oh man, I want to get in on the characters from parts 1 through 3 and then eventually 4 because I'm familiar with those parts.
Yeah.
Unlike literally everyone else.
It's like I tried playing Diavolo. I could not get a handle on him. Like that's definitely a character not designed for me.
Yeah, no, understandable.
Yeah,
I can say that for a good chunk of the characters in both games, sadly enough.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, Diavolo is definitely not the kind of character that I would play. Like, I tried, I couldn't do it. But, I guess regardless, I'm trying to think, at this point, is there anything that we are missing?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover for this episode.
Alrighty then, so, alright, hope you guys enjoyed the finale of this fight, and hope you guys are looking forward to next week, because it's like, we've seen some crazy shit before. Now it's time to crank this shit up even more, so hope you guys are looking forward to that.
Yeah, I know I'm looking forward to it, but yeah, considering how crazy this shit is going to be from this moment onwards.
I mean, I know this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but seriously, things are gonna go tits up from here.
Yeah, I know I've said a few times in the past that, oh man, I'm not ready for this. No, I can say this for certain that I know I'm not going to be ready for this. I don't think Danny and I are going to be ready for this. That being said, Danny, I don't know about you, but I think we're going to need a third fiddle for this one.
Maybe.
Yeah. And on that, we'll see you guys next week for Diavolo, amongst other things. See you guys next week.